Sunday morning. Father Moo here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Thank you for saving your soul in the Church of Moo. Here's another old one again, just going back for a little memory lane trip here. Yeah, off the clock. Off the rockers, more like it. Okay, what are we doing today? Totally different from last time. Last time we went on the LFO deep dive. It was fun. It was interesting. It didn't really make a song, though. Today, I think we're going to make something which might be music. I'm starting off with the drums, because I have a picture in my brain of how things are going to sound. I don't know if it's going to work, but the drums will be my guide here. In my mind, it started with the drums. What I said to myself was, I want a drum that plays another drum. Yeah, that's right. I want to have it so that the output of one drum synth is an element in the clock of the next drum synth. And then this one into that one, and then this one into that one. I think I can make it work. Will it sound awesome? I don't know. But I think I can make it work. So I'm going to try and do it without the standard clock. I'm going to try and do it with logic circuits, with a variety of logic circuits, which I will now dump into the left-hand column. I don't know if inverter will be necessary. It might be. Processor is guaranteed necessary, and so is delay. And we're probably going to need at least one. Again, I don't think it's cheating, but we need a pulse generator to be one of the other clocks. The drums can't be the clocks by themselves. A part of this idea was the fact that, a drum's output kind of resembles the output of a clock. It's a short, gated sound. Let's just listen briefly to what we have on each drum so we know what we're getting into. Oh, I need a mixer here. Okay. That's the kick drum. That should be basically fine. Set a little quiet. Let's go to the next one. Just don't give me the world's most annoying sound. I can't hack it today. That's fine. It's not great, but it's not the world's most annoying. Also fine. So these drum sounds are really just placeholders. The point is they're short, they're blippy, they don't drone on a long time because that wouldn't suit my idea of using them as part of my clock. So how about this one? This is an event sequencer, which usually would run off of a clock module, but I decided not to use one of those today. And what if I took my outputs here, gave them some weird numbers, and so I'm going to use that as the trigger for the second drum synth. Let's wire all these guys into the mixer before we get going. There we go. So the drums are in the mix. Oh, something's being triggered. What's happening? Okay, turn this off. Yeah, so nothing is clocking the clock in the standard way. But what I am going to do is take the output here of drum synth 1. I'm going to jam him into the logic delay, mostly because if I have them happen too close together, you're just going to get a machine gun stutter fire of drum sounds. And as interesting as that might be, I don't think that's what I want first thing in the morning, is Sunday morning. So there's the logic delay going into the logic processor. And the input of the logic delay, as we said, is the kick drum. And let's make the other one be this random dude. And it's currently set to AND, which means when this one is in, when the light is on, if the kick drum kicks, the clock should advance. I'm not sure if that's the ideal final form for this circuit, but it could be. So let's find out. I'm just moving these around because I'm trying to keep the workflow reasonable for each one. So I decided, actually I should do it this way. We are making the clock for the second drum first. So let's spread them out a bit here. This may not matter. I'm going to let logic inverter just live over here for a while. So this is the third drum synth. This is the second one and his clock to his left. And this is the first one up here who hasn't got a clock system going yet. But I think that's it. I think we're going to try this one and see if it works. Since we don't have anything clocking the first drum, we're going to have to cheat and feed him something for now. Let's make another random pulse generator. Okay, well, we can hear the kick drum, and we know he must be feeding this. Maybe the delay is too long. Here we go. So the percussion 3 played a hit. You can see the steps advancing here. It's slower than I thought. I'm going to switch this to OR and see if we get more. There we go. And because the logic decay was shortened, we are getting the hits very close together. Let's try spreading him out again. Okay, he's doing his job. So, again, this is kind of a boring clock mechanism, but we'll replace it with a better one later. Now let's build a weird clock that clocks the cymbal using the output of the percussion. We already seem to have more hits on percussion than we do on the kick, although that could be wrong since this isn't a real clock. Well, let's just build it and see what we get. How about, for variation, this time we use the clocked pattern generator, and that will be sort of the final say-so on this drum pattern. But again, we don't want to feed him a normal clock here. We want to feed him something weird. So let's make another logic processor. And one of the inputs of logic processor is going to be that drum's output. How can we make something more weird for the second one? Let's see what we got. Let's get the delay in there again. And maybe the inverter in there. Oh, that might be odd. So we could send another pattern, set up a pattern on the second channel of this sequencer, send him into the logic delay 2, and then invert him and send him to, I don't really know why we're inverting him. It probably doesn't make a difference at this point. Let's just send him normally to here. Because the inversion is unnecessary, we could use XOR instead of OR. But, yeah. Now we're going to send that strange output to here. And again, AND is not going to... Oh, it actually made a sound. I said AND was not going to be enough because they're going to hit at the exact same time too rarely. But let's try OR. Whoa. So now we are getting a machine gun of sounds as I predicted. Nope. Well, AND doesn't give me the machine gun, so I'm kind of inclined to stick with that. The machine gun means that too many positive logic signals are being fired off simultaneously. We want some logic signals in order to advance the clock, but we don't want a massive amount or we get, as I said, the machine gun sound. But we're actually getting that cymbal sound here. Kind of wish it was something cooler. This is reminding me of one of my old iPad apps. It would let you send a little like blip along a circuit, and it would, whenever the blip arrived at a module, it would play a sound, and it kind of sounded like this. I think I like this sound. Maybe you could pitch him down a bit. Slower. Anyway, I'm kind of happy with that second weird clock, and I think we're on the right track here. Man, this has developed quite quickly. So it's up to me to develop a third weird clock for our buddy here who's running off the pulse gen. Let's leave the pulse gen in place until we don't need it anymore. How about... I wonder if it's something as simple as taking the OR, and then making another event sequencer. Okay, so I decided to make a two-part clock, and I think I'm going to feed this clock from the two other drums. I like how one of them is playing a gongy sound now. That's cool. I hope that won't interfere with my plan if the gong decays too long. Wow, do you see what's happening here? The step sequencer is now on 5, but before he was firing along at 1 billion miles an hour. Yeah, and then he came back to 5 and stopped. See, it's really weird. It's doing some very, very odd things. I like what this is doing. This may wreck it, so let's just see. I told you. So we're getting machine gun patterns from the kick. That's even worse. And that's no good either. That is probably the oddest few seconds you've heard in this whatever this is, Moo stream. Now we've gone back to a very peaceful gong normal. Okay, this clearly isn't going to work. None of the 3 settings here worked. It may be because the decay of this drum synth is too long, but I like the sound it's making. I'm not willing to sacrifice that sound just to make a clock So I think I'll try feeding a logic delay. Copy it from there. Reduce its time. Feed it from here. And feed that into the processor. And see what that gets us. Well, I think I saw him go very fast again. Now he's going very slowly. But he is advancing. Let's try the other settings. See, now as soon as he plays, he goes nuts. I don't really want that. I think I almost got it. I'm just going to set up some... Like I said, I think I got it. We're going to keep tweaking here as needed. I'm still watching this sequence here to see if it does what I do or don't want it to do. Doesn't sound like it's quite there yet. I don't need those flams in my life. What I'm doing here is just building that velocity plus constant modulator thing. I think this can be the same number for both. And then send them to LFOs. The clocks are living here now. Guys, this is getting me frustrated now. No. No. What if I delayed it more? You jerk. I wonder what messing with the velocity is going to do to the clocks, because the drums are also the clocks. So if the velocity is too quiet, maybe we'll hear it, but it won't register as a clock pulse. I am not sure. I gotta stop hearing this sound. This is not the sound I want to be hearing. So we still have this guy being part of the clock. Maybe it's as simple as just making a dual random clock with 2 pulses. I'll do anything at this point to avoid hearing the sound I don't want to hear, which is the annoying machine gun sound. And then this output triggering this, I guess. It's rare for me to send anything to the pitch input of drums. I'm not doing this in any kind of scale, but I guess I like the variation that is being set up here. So I'm making more random gens to mix it up. And rather than make another one, I'm just going to mix a couple signals here. There we go. Now let's invert one. Send that to this pitch. Now I'm using the same constant as the minimal amount for both velocities for these drums. So when I heard them getting a bit too quiet, I just increased the constant amount. So you really have quite a lot of variety going on here in the control voltage area. Let's just kill some cables here so we know what's going on. These don't really belong to any one of the drums. They're all being sort of shared at this point. But by my rules, these CV guys shouldn't be in column 3. They're not doing audio processing duty. I think I kind of got what I wanted, though. I'm kind of happy with this. All of them are having their pitch modulated. 2 of them are having their velocity modulated. I wonder if I spread the kicks decay out a little bit. And the slave too. There's a lot of space here, so. Yeah, that sounds nice. Cool. I almost thought to myself, hey, I should have used a clocked random step generator. But what the hell would it be clocked to? There is no clock for any of these. They're all running on ultra weird clocks. So no, that's not going to work. Man, I'm just sitting enjoying this here. I talk a big game about generative stuff and self-creating music patches and so on, but I haven't done anything quite like this in a while. And I know it seems like I threw it together quickly and sort of haphazardly, but I got where I was trying to go, so I kind of don't mind. I like how one of the percussion instruments is short and the other one is longer and ringy. I was just thinking I have lots of load power left. Maybe I'll drop in a phaser here. And I know that I have lots of control signal already, so yeah, it probably sounds cool. Send all 3 of the drums into the phaser, running on left and right. You know what? I'm going to do it because I know I'm going to use this patch to make something later. I'm going to drop a chorus in here as well to make it stereo. You won't be able to hear the stereo because Father Moo's tech limitations don't support it. But it's still good. For these big, bouncy, sort of boomy sort of percussion sounds, chorus is awesome. And phaser with almost any kind of drum sounds good, so send some random data that I'm already creating to the center frequency amount for the phaser. Open that way up and let it drift all over the place. You can have the phaser at a low rate but a large depth. So it just... I mean, my drums are so all over the place that if I allow the phaser to travel through a wide frequency range, it'll affect different drums over different periods of time. That's cool, man. Yeah. Still going back to the fact that this random step generator still changes pitch too quickly for me in terms of how he hits the gong. So I'm going to dial it down yet again. I like how the phaser let that warble and ring a bit there. What's his pitch input? the output of these two guys. And these two are this, which is very slow, this, which is not as slow. Let's try taking this down a bit too. Getting a bit of fudge in the sound. I thought I heard. Yeah. Am I getting machine gun triggers? I'm just watching the lights on the drums now. See if they machine gun at me. If it is just distortion or sludginess in the sound, the compressor should help solve that problem. Let's put him here. Since this guy split the output to left and right, I'm going to take that split output and compress that. There's probably a school of thought that says I should put the compressor before the effects, but for stereo purposes, I'm going to do it like this anyway. Neat. I like that. There's still a bunch of weirdness going on in the low end of the gong pitch and the kick drum pitch. Oh, you know what I could do? Okay, let's try it. The same trick that I do by having a constant to prevent the velocity from getting too low, I could also prevent the pitch from getting too low. So with processing power left over, let's do that. The pitch here is coming from a random step gen. That's this one. So let's give him another mixer. Sorry, that's a control. Where is he? Control signal mixer. And instead of taking pure pitch out of there, we patched the randomness into 1. I think I can still use the same constant volume here and plug that into the pitch. So the lowest pitch has a low end but not a high end. Seems to have drastically changed the sound. Maybe the... Okay, well, I have this constant amount, which you can't see because there's too many cables. He's at 41. Let's try dialing him down a bit, which allows the low end of the kick drum to still be lower. Let's try just disconnecting it totally. See, at least some of them must be interfering with the gong sound. No, that's all kick drum. That's not a gong. I think we may have gone too far away from... We've strayed too far from God's light in leaving the preset. Maybe this is sacrilege, but I'm going to go back to a more standard kick drum preset. I think we used 4. We still have the velocity being modulated, which is great. I think I'm going to leave the pitch alone. Hey, teacher, leave that pitch alone. It's from a famous Pink Floyd song. It's okay if you don't know it, don't worry. Look at that crazy dog's breakfast. Velocity here. Let's try that trick of turning down the constant amount. What if we turn down this too? mostly trusting my ears on this one at this point. Good. I can still hear the kick, the high, short percussion, and the ringing, gongy percussion, so I think we're still good here. Good. I'm happy with it. I'm gonna save it. 51. Now on patch 51. I didn't know we would get this far, but here we are. This one is called Drums Play Drums. That was always the name of it, even in my notes, in my phone before I came up with this. It's kind of like Drums Play Gongs, but close enough. Still a cool patch, if you ask me. A weird one, but a cool one. So yeah, something completely different in the world of clocking over here. I highly recommend you find whatever logic processor you have in your system and use it to combine random or programmed clocks instead of making normal 4-on-the-floor clocks. It's so much more rewarding. And here we use the drum sounds themselves. There are other things you could use. You could use short musical notes as part of your clocks. As long as they're short and clicky, they should, drive the sequencer forward a step, which is all they have to do. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. There will be more coming in the future. Father Moon Never Give Up. Patreon is in the production process. We don't have T-shirts yet, but we're striving for greatness. And thank you so much for tuning in to good old Father Moo on the microphone. Appreciate it. It's church somewhere, baby.